I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
And this is...
I think we gotta mute this, right?
This is Amon amarth. Brought to you by the Big Homie River. Shout out to the Big Homie River.
Yes.
For timely, topical, political commentary, you can hit us up at Middle America with Vin and Sori. If you, dear listener, would like your song reviewed, the process is really very simple. My favorite is the community option, $1 at the gate, get to at Patreon, where you get to meet with other amazing alliance leaders. You pool your points together, and that helps determine what song we do. Or you can do the filthy capitalist option that Sori does all the time, and that River did in this particular situation. Although we like River, he's not a filthy capitalist. 125 gets you straight to the head of the line, where you get to cop, skip, and jump in front of everybody else, and then we can do your song as a priority. And that's what the Big Homie River did. You do that 3 times, you get knocked down to the $75 rate. Having said all that jazz, this is The Fate of Norns by Amon Amarth. That's the name of the band. You ready to rock and roll?
I am ready for this.
Go! Some Viking shit right here.
Yeah.
Damn.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
Damn. Damn.
Jeez. Oh.
That's deep, bro.
Yeah.
That's really, really deep. That's it's just one of those things, man, where we're watching a series about Vikings, Viking culture, yada yada yada. And from the little that I've been watching, much of these conflicts are unprovoked, instigated by these Vikings who just love to go and conquer. And
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
The show Vikings.
Oh. Yeah, I thought you said we were watching it now.
A lot of the conflicts are just because Ragnar is, they got restless and, again, resources, right? Which is the story of most war. I'm sure the Vikings fought defensive wars as well, but it's one of those things where it's like, you hear about these cultures that are like, like the Spartans, Spartan culture and things like that. And it's almost like, and I think if people look back at American culture, people are going to say this was a warring culture. Like there's not, it's almost a ritual for a president to get inaugurated and then send some bombs and kill people in the first 30 days of their, Jeez. Biden just did it in Syria. Trump did it with, what do you call it? With the Yemeni people. And of course we had Obama as the drone king in chief, right? So like, it's ours too, but it's one of those, my point is, I remember reading about the Spartans in high school and being like, obviously you're young, you're 16 years old, you got the fire in your belly, whatever, you want to prove yourself. And I just like would daydream about being part of that kind of, that culture. And it gets glorified, especially among young men. I mean, even now, the Spartan Tactical or every other, jiu-jitsu place is called Spartan this, Spartan that. It's like, it gets glorified, but this is the back end of it, right? Where it's like a lot of dads having to bury their kids, man, because you're part of these cultures and it's just like a warring culture. Like, that is what that is. Like, I'm watching, we were watching a couple of these battles where, Ragnar and his sons were fighting side by side. I could never do that. I could never fight side by side with my kids. Like, I would be completely and totally inefficient. Like, I would be
because you would be so wanting to protect them.
Yeah.
But I think, like, the way that they always, like, kind of present it in those is, like, how you are as a, you know what I mean? Like, as a person, like, probably a father fighting side by side with you. Like, obviously you'd still want to protect your kid, but, like, there's so much that, like, you have a heart of a warrior. And so, and I think in those cultures that they kind of, like, they I don't, maybe the word is kind of weird, but they worship that. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do things to prove your manhood. It's about manhood and stuff. And so, I mean, we have a different culture, so I think it's hard to picture. It's so weird because this is clearly about war, but I didn't take it that way. I was just thinking, like, his kid died.
Well, yeah.
No. He wasn't in war. He was only 6 years old. See, that's what I got from it, was that he was very young. I feel a chill in my heart like a lingering winter cold. I and my son are torn apart. He was just 6 winters old. Oh my God, I can't even. See, that's what I pictured. I pictured like a little one. I didn't picture somebody who was warring.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like, that's a tough pill to swallow, man. That's a really, really, really tough pill to swallow. Oh
my word.
It's until you have a kid. It's really impossible. Like, no disrespect to anybody, but people call themselves, like, animal parents or whatever, and, like, that's, like, a thing where, like, I saw a post with, I'm just as much of a mom as, no, you're not.
Oh, well.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Like, your little kitten, like, I get, like, animals are absolutely, they're important.
Yeah.
And people can get close to them. But there is nothing like your own child. until you have it, and I mean this like when I say your child, whether it's a child that you're born yourself or the child that you've adopted, like to have that little kid look to you for everything. You changed a million diapers. You slept with him when he was terrified and had some crazy nightmare. To lose that, man, whew, that is, somebody asked me at a fireside, they're like, what's your greatest fear? And I'm really, really not afraid of dying. There's been a couple times that I thought I was going to go, and I don't want to say I was at peace, but I was at absolute zero. I wasn't terrified. I wasn't like, I wasn't like, I wish I was somewhere else. Like, there are times when I'm like, when I would like push myself and like, it would be like, man, I wish I was home. You know what I'm saying? But like when I felt like, oh, okay, we're gonna die right here. Like I didn't feel anything. So I'm not afraid. I don't think I'm gonna be afraid of dying. But something happened in my, and I'm not even talking about something extreme like them dying. I think about things like their first breakup, their first heartbreak. Oh, a friend outside, betraying them, not wanting to hang out with them, even things like that. Like. I sit and think about at night a lot. You know what I mean? Like, we watch these shows with them and stuff, and this normal stuff that teenage kids go through, and I'm like, I don't want them to have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And I'm particularly like soft when it comes to that as far as the kids go. Like, I don't want them hurt at all. I want them always to be happy. But the older they get, the more variables go into their life of things that you can't control and keep them from.
Yep.
And but especially at times like this, whether you lost your kid to war or some horrible disease, like it was almost inevitable that these people were going to lose one or two kids. And then if you think about infant mortality rate, lose your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like life was so hard for these people back in the day. And it kind of, helps you to understand a little bit about why we had all these wars back in the day over resources, Because it's like, on the one hand, you can look at it like, oh, that's just plain greed. It's like, no.
Or it's a sense of security, like, and it was the way to survive.
Right.
Because you didn't know what was going to happen. We don't even have a concept of it.
Exactly.
Because we've got, like, we go to the grocery store and we pick up the closest, which is extremely far away, was a year ago when the whole COVID thing hit, and like all the toilet paper was gone. There was, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden people were starting to be like, whoa, what are we going to do to fix this problem?
Right. People were ready to kill each other over toilet paper.
Yeah.
Right. So like, exactly. So think about being in some village in Europe somewhere. Winters are absolutely harsh. And the harvest is continually dwindling and all this. Like, it's not like people are going to welcome you into their little land of territory that's going really great. They want to keep that for themselves.
Right.
So it's the life that these people had to lead was really, really harsh, and it's not something that like normal regular people now in the Western world post-industrial revolution have even a concept of. Like, we have empire building wars where we're trying to expand our footprint and things like that as Americans. But we're not doing that because like we're desperately losing out on resources. It's like, oh, this gas price is too high. Let's start this conflict over here with these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a completely different. And then what happens is we read back into our motives, into the motives of other people back in 700-800 years ago. It's not the case. But holy shit, he's got to lay his son down. You got to bury your kid.
No, well, the way that he explains it is just the detail that he goes into. You can't. I mean, I don't know what you do, but I end up picturing my own kid in that situation. I don't know if you're like that or you don't even picture it. But it's like
brutal.
Oh my gosh! And then when he said like they laid him on the pyre?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
burial worthy for a king.
Yeah, that was like And
I lay down by his side. See, I don't know if that's poetic or not. Because that's the burial ritual.
Yeah.
So if he's laying down beside his kid while the kid's on a pyre, I mean, that's a thing that you...
Well, yeah, but I don't think he's...
That you set on fire. I don't know if that's poetic or
No,
what.
I think that he was all set up on the pyre. They were about to send it out, or it's one that's on the thing, and he just laid down beside him before they laid it. Yeah,
I don't know. That's...
What's a weaving Norn?
I don't know what a Norn is, but maybe those are angels in the Norse... worldview, you know.
Okay.
Or the fate of Norns, I don't know. But one of the things that was like... It's just a crazy situation, man. When he was saying the All-Father, because I think, was that Odin? Odin's the All-Father, right? So...
Yes.
First of all, I love that. I love that term, All-Father.
The Norns are female beings who rule the destiny of gods and men. They roughly correspond to other controllers of humans' destiny, such as the Fates.
There you go.
So what did it say when the Norns sang? Oh.
The fate of the Norns await us all. Yeah. They're the ones that determine what it... So
yeah.
they determine the fate of the gods, too. So, like, all the Ragnarok stuff and all that. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, I was in a fireside a couple days ago, and I got no conflict with a person because Biden had killed all those people on the Syrian airstrike.
Mm-hmm.
And I just get so tired of, like, the partisan bullshit. So it's like, oh, it's better than, you know, fascistic Trump. And I'm like, yeah, tell those people that to bury their dead that, you know, a Democrat bomb is better than a Republican bomb. Like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
And this is not about Democrat or Republican. I'm just saying, as Americans, like, the cold hard truth is we don't give a fuck about what we do to people overseas. We do not care.
Oh.
We're like some of the most calloused, unfeeling. We can hear that 45 people just got dispatched to eternity by one of our bombs that our tax dollars paid for, and we're completely fine. Mm-hmm. I don't know how. This is why this song is affecting me so much, because like I'm just imagining some date farmer over there in Afghanistan burying the remaining elements of his son's body because we bombed the shit out of this kid for no reason. And these people have to bury their kids, man. You got to so many of these fathers have had to put their kids in the dirt. And it's like, and all that shit just gets reduced to partisan, like, oh, if our guy Trump did it, then it's okay. Oh, if our guy Biden did it, then it's okay. Oh, yeah, it's bad, but it's, you know, it's like we immediately go to the political bullshit. And we honestly don't give a fuck about the people that we've murdered, man. We've littered the fucking Middle East with... It's crazy to me how cheap life is to us as America. It's just... You know? It's like, well, they shot at... They were like, well, they shot at us. It's like, yeah, motherfucker. They told us last year their democratically elected parliament voted last year for us to leave. Trump responds by saying, fuck you, we're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And then Biden, when he takes the baton from Trump, instead of saying, you know what, we're going to honor your democratically elected government, their wishes for us to leave, we're going to honor that. Instead, we say, no, fuck you, we're going to stay. And then if you have the audacity to shoot at us, even though no Americans were killed, we're going to kill like 22 of you. And yeah, I'm sure all those people were combatants, no civilians. Okay. Like,
right.
I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. I really don't give a fuck. Like, we're out there killing innocent people, man. It's like, it's wrong.
I don't know if it's that, you know, we don't see it, and so it can be outside of our thoughts, and it's just numbers to us.
Nah, I think it's a lot more simple than that. We just don't care. It's not affecting us. It's not affecting our pocketbook. We don't care. Or it's not affecting whatever political candidate that we're trying to support or that we're trying to slander. If it doesn't fit into that box, we don't care. So now these people have to like bury their children, and we just get to go on with our cushy little American lives and we're gonna sit there and play party politics while these people are dealing with like incalculable grief. I don't even.
Yeah.
Somebody was like, like I don't even understand like how we're allowed as a Christian, like how we're allowed to continue to just walk through the earth and do this type of this stuff to people.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Like one of these days, and that's one of the reasons, like honestly, like I lost a family member in 9/11. So, and look, there was I can tell you the God's honest truth. I've never met somebody who was more personally angry about what happened in 9/11 than me when I saw that shit happen on because I had just left New York. I had a girlfriend in New York at the time. We didn't know that it was basically just going to be relegated to Manhattan, and
right.
Man, I remember like I could taste blood in my mouth. I was so angry, and I didn't care who. I just remembered like somebody's gonna die over this shit, bro. A lot of somebody's gonna die over this shit, and I was so furious. I didn't care. Then I saw people jumping out of those buildings, and I'm like, I couldn't contain myself. I was so angry. But then after you see things and after you see certain things and all that, man, and you've been around a little bit, it's like there have been countries and people that have had 9/11s every day because of us. And it wasn't some like random,
and they don't have the power to fight back.
Exactly. It wasn't like these random 19 Saudis, you know what I'm saying, like did this, and you're like, okay. Like, I knew immediately that when that second plane hit, everybody across the planet Earth knew that hundreds of people were going to die over that shit. You knew it because you knew what America was capable of. But what would happen if that happened to you and everybody knew that your government wasn't going to do a damn thing because there's nothing they could do to us? Like... that type of pain we're not familiar with. Like we don't even know what it's like. So like even though I say these people endured 9/11s every day, they really haven't because we avenged my aunt literally a million times over. She's been avenged. You know what I mean? Like, and these people, there's no justice for them. Like
Ugh.
It's just, sometimes it's sad and sometimes it's infuriating. It's like when you sit back and you just go like, imagine being a father and having to bury your kid for no reason. There's no reason for it. Like, holy shit. Like that's the hardest thing. And
that's
like,
why when people get radicalized, it makes so much sense to me.
What do you mean? Of course. Look, I don't even think.
But I'm sure all the white people don't understand what that's like, so they don't understand when they do certain things in this country that make it so that way people start rioting. They act like they don't have a clue. Well, look what happened when 9/11 happened. You reacted to that.
Well, I don't even think if a person who's like in Afghanistan or Iraq, if they pick up a weapon and go after us, I don't even think they've been radicalized. That's just human. Like, people can take only so much for so long. Like that's not radicalization. Like
no,
that,
I'm talking about when they become
just
suicide bombers and stuff like that.
Even then, I don't think. Look, if you put a person in a situation and say, we're going to kill you, we're going to kill your whole family, there's nothing you or anybody can do about it, your government won't do a damn thing, and the only way that you even have a shot of pushing us out of your country is if you strap a bomb to yourself and go into the middle of behind a green line somewhere. I don't think that that's radicalization. That's not radical. That's just plain self-defense. Like, this is a trick that we play. It's like, unless you're being a good Afghani and allowing us to blow you to smithereens, if you dare fight back, we're going to say that you're a radical. It's like, what? Like, how about we treat people the way we want to be treated and don't create situations in which people have to make those horrible decisions. But, yeah, man, like, this kid, you don't know why he died. Was he a child soldier? Did he die of disease? Which is, I'm sure, was rampant at the time. And, when he calls out to the All-Father there, and they were tremolo picking in that part, especially at the end, when he calls out to the All-Father there, man, that, it really makes you think as a Christian, what qualifies as prayer, and how does God relate to these people, and where is the hope for them, and the difficulties of the exclusive nature of the claims of Christ versus the heart of God presented in the Old and New Testaments as God being a father and wanting the best for everyone. Those create a lot of real difficulties, there have been so many of those cries that have been all throughout history, or people calling out to God when there are these horrible instances of human suffering. And I don't know how all that gets worked out.
Right.
But I'll say that it's like a conversation I had with a friend, a mutual friend of ours. I don't know how, he basically said, he goes, I don't know how it all, works out, but I know God's got something that we don't know about. Because we were talking about situations like this with people, man.
Yeah.
And it's, look, all I know is Jesus, is the only one that died for us and the only ones that paid for our sins. I know that. And I know that he's the only way in. But I think there are lots of ways to get to Jesus that, we don't know about. I'll say it that way. But holy moly. It's just a lot of pain. Sometimes, if you just think about the pain that so many people are going through in the world, man, it's crazy.
I just can't even. I can't even believe it. It's that to me is like the pain of all pains, and
yeah,
losing a child with a miscarriage, you kind of know that anytime you get pregnant that there's a risk, and it's difficult. I'm not taking away from how difficult that is, but when you see the kid's face and you have a relationship with them, and I can't even imagine.
All the hopes and dreams that you...
Yeah.
Oh, maybe he'll do this. Maybe he'll do that. Think about the wedding day, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
of course.
And all that shit gets taken away. It's hard. It's hard stuff, man. It's hard stuff. But beautiful song though. Holy moly! And then they had the tremolo. Man, that tremolo part when he said the All Father thing, man. That what do you give the song?
8.3.
It's a solid 8.9 for me. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Well, I didn't really enjoy the song, in the sense, but definitely liked the song for sure. Just not something you enjoy.
No, but thanks, River.
Yeah, shout out to the homie River. River's at the $75 tier, right? He's got to be, right?
Absolutely.
So really, really, really good selection.
If you're not, then say something to me.
Yeah, if you're not, Sori will get you your
I'll
refund.
fix you up. But I'm pretty sure he is.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Villagers, the NCAA college basketball tournament is right around the corner. We're doing a March Madness contest for our village to raise funds for other villagers in need. It only costs $1 to participate, and you'll have the option, if you want to donate a little extra. The way it works is you go to ESPN.com and fill out a bracket with the teams that you think are likely to win each game. Whoever wins our contest will get to pick a song for Vin and Sori to react to. So that song you've always wanted them to do, you can now get it done for as little as $1 if you win the contest. There will be a link in the description to this website that will take you to a PayPal site. From there, you make your donation and you'll get an email back with instructions on where to join the group and the password so that you can join. Now, if you're asking, I'm not a big college basketball junkie, I don't know what's going to happen, that's okay. There's all kinds of information on the website that will show you what the experts are predicting, statistics on each team, and even trends as far as what everybody else is voting on. So you'll fill out your bracket. You can start doing that on March 14th, and you'll have until the games begin on the 19th to complete your bracket. bracket. You can join the group at any time, but those are the days that you can actually fill your bracket out. If you have any questions, send those to Vin and Sori March Madness at gmail.com, and I look forward to seeing you guys there.